He was much smaller and more frail than he appeared in his videos. His face was covered in bruises with shiny ointment applied over his injuries. Thus, we ultimately decided to push for a public apology. However, this wasn't the end of the conversation. If he refused to apologize, we were prepared to leave him half dead.
This is Brennan Kim, the American MMA fighter that lives in Korea and that facilitated the apology for Johnny Somali. I'm sure you guys remember a couple days ago we covered it. Johnny Somali did the worst fake apology you could ever imagine. Well, it turns out there was a lot more going on behind the scenes because it was never Johnny's intent to apologize right off the bat. He actually got brought there under false pretenses. This guy said he was going to take him to a lawyer, and meanwhile, he wanted to assault him along with the other Korean YouTubers. So now that he got a lot of backlash for facilitating the fake apology, he made an apology of his own, which he has since deleted, and we'll take a look at it today. Luckily, I was able to find this on the Legal Mindset YouTube channel, link in the description. Without further ado, let's take a look at what this guy has to say.
Hello, everyone. I would like to talk about the situation that happened at the conformance statue, and I would like to address everything that led up to that event. I was filled with anger as I learned about the atrocities committed by Somali. I even thought about finding him and giving him the punishment he deserved. It wasn't just me. Many Koreans were looking for him. My wife and I devised a plan to catch Somali. To lure him out, we sent a message offering to get him a lawyer and meet up. Both sides and attempts to rely on us brought us a feeling of guilt for receiving him. At times, I felt the pain of sympathy and pity for him as a human being. He was in a difficult situation, in a very legal situation at that. I used that against him by pretending to help, which left me with a sense of guilt and regret. To make an excuse, I think it wasn't because we were foolish, but because unlike a psychopath like Somali, we have normal human emotions. Perhaps because I'm human, the constant lying, regardless of its reason or purpose, brought about feelings of guilt. However, it wasn't just lies. I even advised him to upload an apology video and apologize sincerely, but Somali refused to. So I had no choice but to continue lying. He was only afraid of the legal consequences he would face. He showed no awareness of his own wrongdoing. He seemed to lack any human emotions that a known person would have, such as guilt, remorse, or empathy. I went beyond anger and disgust, feeling a sort of sorrow of how someone can end up with such a character.
So here he's not making much sense because we all know that Johnny Somali is evil. He's a goblin that is consumed by clout. He serves no purpose on this earth other than to bother people. He is the definition of a parasite. Now, why would you want to reason with someone like that? I totally understand if he wanted to back out of his original plan to kidnap Johnny and probably give him a beating, because you shouldn't go to jail for Johnny. He's not worth it. But at the same time, to facilitate this BS apology where he's pretty much trying to repair his reputation, that is just nonsense. And obviously he realized that he did a huge mistake, and that's why he did this video.
The void of compassion, empathy, or guilt, or even the capacity for reflection. I even felt pity for him for lacking these basic human emotions. But now that I think about it, I find myself laughable. Who am I to feel sympathy or pity for someone like that? Each time complicated emotions arose and I wanted to stop, I would look at his videos, reminding myself of his true nature, and resolve to keep deceiving him, convinced that he had to be brought to justice. I questioned myself, wondering if I would have been so lenient had someone in my family had been his victim. I kept pushing myself, telling myself that while everyone deserves a chance for repentance and forgiveness, decisive measures are necessary for those who are not prepared to accept that chance. In any case, we finally managed to arrange with him through deception. With intense emotions, I reached out to Mr. Yu Dao-gun, a former UDT member who had previously confronted him. Given the seriousness of the current situation, while my personal feelings and choices were significant, I also felt it was essential to contact other Koreans who have been seeking to bring him to justice before us. We held a meeting with them. After the discussion, we agreed to handle the matter as peacefully as possible. As individuals, we couldn't ignore the reality of the situation. We had to consider both retribution and the legal consequences he would face. The fact that we lured him with we couldn't ignore the reality of the situation. We had to consider both retribution and the legal consequences he would face. The fact that we lured him with lies already bordered on adoption. Kidnapping, threats, and assault were serious legal issues we couldn't ignore. Thus, we ultimately decided to push for a public apology. However, this wasn't the end of the conversation. If he refused to apologize, we were prepared to leave him half dead. That was the direction of our meeting. We didn't expect him to apologize so easily. To excuse ourselves, we were all young and accustomed to situations like this. Moreover, we haven't properly investigated his past transgressions after his previous apologies in Japan.
Honestly, my BS meter is going through the roof right now. You didn't investigate his previous actions in Japan. You said yourself that you were watching his videos to remind yourself that he was evil and he deserved consequences that you were going to give him through your plan. So obviously, you know who he is, you know what he has done, and you just chickened out at the last minute, which is fine. It was okay to back out and not go to jail for him, but you facilitated one of the worst piece of YouTube history I have ever seen. Johnny Somali giving a fake apology to South Korea, and you are chilling with him and endorsing that. So I guess this guy wanted to get involved. I don't know why he did that, but he has definitely earned his 15 minutes of shame. But he has a lot more to say, so let's listen in.
Of him in a car discussing the comfort woman statue and apology, which is mistakenly believed to be on his way to apologize. This is incorrect. That scene was from after the apology, where we were giving him a ride home and we went live to update viewers on the current situation. Foolishly, we truly believe that he had completed his apology and genuinely reflected on his actions. At the time I was driving, and my wife was looking forward as well, we didn't notice him in the back flashing a peace sign with mocking expression. We had deceived him into coming under the pretense of meeting with the lawyer, which he believed, and he followed us for that reason. However, we actually took him to meet the YouTubers who had been seeking him. We had requested that Hank bring Somali with him. However, Hank informed us that Somali was not with him. In fact, Somali was more than 10 kilometers away. They didn't disclose their location, but on the appointed day, Hank will get into our car, reveal Somali's address, and then we will go together to pick up Somali and take him to the lawyer. On the day we were supposed to meet, we went to the basement parking lot of Hank's home and picked him up in our car. Hank then revealed Somali's address, which turned out to be in Gyeonggi-do, not Seoul. Nobody had known this. Everyone assumed that Somali was still in Seoul. Hank had hidden him well. We took Hank and headed to where Somali was staying. When we finally met Somali, he was much smaller and more frail than he appeared in his videos. His face was covered in bruises with shiny ointment applied over his injuries. He got into the car looking every bit like a criminal. Afraid he might try to escape, we acted incredibly friendly towards him, even buying him a cup of coffee. When we handed it to him, he kept saying, thank you, like he hadn't eaten in days. He wore a pitiful expression, continually to thank us for helping him, which gave me a pain of guilt. I don't think this was because I was foolish. It's because I have normal human emotions. For a regular person, it's natural to feel nervous or guilty about lying to someone directly, regardless of the reason. Am I right? At that moment, my heart softened. I thought there was no need to suppress my sympathy while remembering Somali's true character. So even when he made that foolish apology, I tried to show him peace and kindness. Because of that foolishness, I'm now globally condemned. I really wish I could turn back time. Looking back, I feel remorse for stepping up to try to extract the apology, thinking that I, with my naive and fragile mentality, could handle it. I have no excuses. I was unqualified for this type of thing, naive about the ways of the world, emotionally weak, and not particularly clever. I got involved without knowing anything. I was arrogant, and now I regret it deeply. I also regret letting him go like that and showing him sympathy, believing he might reform. In the end, I was deceived as well. Currently, I'm still trying to track him down. The critical issue here is permit private punishment. Anyone who tries to punish Somali through physical means will be charged with assault under the law. Be under investigation for assault and stalking offenses.
So here he's trying to give himself an out, basically saying that all the people that hit him, they're going to go to jail, and that's why I didn't do it. Well, that's not entirely true, because from my understanding, Delgun, the guy who hit him in front of the cops, well, he was treated to a 5-star dinner, he was given a hotel for the night, and all the charges were dropped. So once again, he's just trying to give himself an out. Well, that's it for the video. Another thing to mention is that one of Johnny Somali's friends, or Johnny Somali himself, is now doing deepfake of Johnny Somali kissing this guy's girlfriend, which is highly illegal in Korea. And that just shows what happens when you get involved with Johnny Somali. It will ruin your life and you will earn your 15 minutes of shame. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The next video will definitely be on a different topic. I was just about to edit something on Jack Doherty when I saw this video, and I knew I had to bring it to you guys. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.